til 5. Det er ligesom robotter, det er koldt og shit. De kender ham, alle kan ikke kende sig selv. Men rolig min bror, du kan vende dig til. Jeg kender til rotter, jeg kender til 5. Det er ligesom robotter.
I did this interview with Thairath Variety. It's like a magazine or something like that, and it had a YouTube channel, and the title is so crazy. It's like, Faye Peraya, loss has thrown her life into disarray. She doesn't know why she should continue living. The story of ... Super dramatic. And then even the description is like, Faye Peraya, she opens up about her life, revealing how a devastating loss once left her disoriented and unsure of what to do with her life, leaving her off course for many years. It's like super clickbaity. It's so funny. But yeah, this is done at her new salon, her hair salon, Kanthong Studio, which is named after her grandmother. But yeah, it just like kind of goes over her life. And this is nothing new. Like, this is a lot of stuff that she's talked about before, so it's not like new information, but it's interesting. So I figured I'd just give you a little synopsis if you didn't watch it, or if you couldn't translate it because you had to have like, I couldn't watch it on my phone. I had to watch it on my computer and do the Thai to English translation. So it was a little different, a little weird. So the translations aren't great, but basically this is what she says. So they were asking her to describe herself as a child, and she was like, I'm boyish, I was chubby, I had kind of a Middle Eastern look because she is like half Indian. She said, I had fair skin and curly hair, and I like to eat a lot of candy. So typical farm kid, playing with animals, playing with boys. She had really good memories of her childhood. Her family was pretty poor, so she always needed to work to support herself, but she never like went without. She didn't really feel like strong in her school subjects, but she really was good at art. And as you've seen her do like her own art, like drawings and stuff like that, she's always been really good at art. Obviously, she's an artist, she's a performer, she sings, she acts, and she does hair. So she's really good at arts, but she doesn't feel really strong in like other subjects. Her family instilled in her not to like violate moral principles, not to cause trouble for anyone, to be grateful, and don't to get involved in drugs and gambling, and she has never done any of those things. She has told this story before. They were asking about like, when did you feel like kind of regret, and it was at a Loy Krathong festival where she was singing, and it was a competition. And so after the competition, she was enjoying herself at the festival, going around at all the booths, doing everything, but she was supposed to come back and hang out with her grandmother and go out and enjoy the festivities. And she came back really late, and her grandmother usually sleeps early, but she was up and she waited for her, and she said that she remembers that. She always remembers that. She feels really guilty about it. And until this day, she will never go back on her word. She never breaks her promise anymore because of that one encounter with her grandmother. She said her grandmother never really praised her, but she was kind, but also easily annoyed, which is funny because Faye has said herself that she is easily annoyed. She loved like praising her around other people. So like, people in the community, it's kind of like an Isan thing to be like, oh, this is my niece or whatever. She's so great. She's doing this, this, and this. But, he never really got direct praise. She sees that her success has been like an inspiration because of her grandmother. Her grandmother did die when she was modeling in Singapore, and she said it was very devastating, and it was hard for her to continue to do anything in her life. Like, what should she do? But someone in her life named Paylin reached out to her and asked her what she was going to be doing next, and then she realized that she needed to kind of like snap out of it, and like, what was she waiting for? She couldn't just be like stay in that depressed state anymore, so she composed herself and moved on with her life, essentially. They asked her if Faye opened a restaurant, what dish would she make that was inspired by her grandmother. She says papaya stir-fried with eggs. It's really hard to find these days, and she hasn't eaten it in over 10 years, pretty much since her grandmother died. And she doesn't want to make it, she says, because she's scared that it won't taste like her grandmother's and she'll be disappointed, which I thought was kind of cute. She did start in beauty pageants, which most people know, and when she started modeling, she pretty much stopped the pageantry, but then she went to a pageantry show like when she was on break from modeling, and she saw someone that was close to her named Aunt Sia. It's kind of like a pageant aunt, and she told her about the MGI competition, and that's how she got into MGI. She said modeling and doing pageantry were very different. There's no competition in modeling. It's just like you just do it yourself. But with pageants, it's just like really chaotic. She was with like 70 other women. She doesn't really like that kind of thing. You had to be perfect all the time. You had to like, do your own makeup, your hair, your clothes. You always had to be put together, as opposed to when you're modeling, someone else does your makeup and hair and styles and all that stuff, and you just have to do it for the shoot. You don't have to do it all the time. So it was a lot. She said she learned a lot from it. It was like a really great life experience, she said. She did end up winning, Miss Grand International, or Miss Grand Thailand, actually. She didn't win international. She was runner-up. And she said she's been forever grateful to Nawat for giving her the opportunity in the entertainment industry. And then Nawat actually encouraged her to go act with Channel 7. She said she wasn't really interested in that because, again, chaos and the hustle, she didn't want to do that. but he got her to see that there are possibilities that would come from acting, so she should like take advantage of those opportunities. And Faye said that she's always been working, never thought about like love like as a serious endeavor, always chose her career over love, but now that she's more open to love right now, if there is understanding because of how her life is. The interviewer asked her if she was ready for love, and she said, yeah, I'm kind of lonely, and she was kind of like joking about it, but she's not yearning for it. She's just open to it. Does she have any specifications for love? No, she just said understanding. She did say she likes attention. She takes care of other people so much, and she enjoys someone who like cares about her. Overall, Faye is really happy with how her life is right now. The interviewer goes back to Channel 7 and asks her what happened with that, and she says, yeah, she says she finally she ends up joining Channel 7, and it really makes her life better. And over time, even though she wasn't interested in acting, over time she felt that performing art was really captivating. And again, I think that harkens back to her like liking art, right? So when she got into a different type of art, she's like, oh yeah, this is pretty awesome. They asked her what inspired her to take on a sapphic role. They do not say the name of the show. They do not say blank. They refer to it as the sapphic role. And she said it aligned with her, how Faye saw gender and that it didn't matter where the love comes from. Plus her fans encouraged it. So she goes on to talk about like the importance of her fans and how they move together, and it's what drives her now. And then they asked her, did she think that she'd become a global star? And Faye said, no, never imagined it, but so happy for the fans' support. She says the power of the fans is incredible. Faye does not like change. It tires her, so encouragement of the fans gives her like the will to fight. Asking more about change, she says, with change, she has to accept it. There's nothing she can do. She can't, even if it's unresolved, she has to just let it go. She can't force someone's feelings to remain the same. She just falls back to cherishing those around her and her fans. And this might be a reference to the 9-star situation, but she's just, in general, I think she's also just talking about moving on from things that change. Things change. Amour. Do we forget about Amour? The whole drama of that? Okay. What would happen if Faye woke up to no fans? And Faye goes, I never imagined it. I can't see it. But over many years, if it diminished, she says she would just see it as a happy memory. She will never forget the people who came along. I think the interviewer was asking her, like, what won't you forget about the fans? And she says the people who came long distances to meet her just for a few minutes, in the rain or in the heat. So she was really blown away by that, and just loves those fans who were able to do that with her and have that memory. The interviewer asks her, do fans misbehave? And she says no, but fans say she's low tech and she doesn't see things. But the interviewer says that she sees everything. Faye sees everything. And then Faye says, I've noticed fans are really stubborn. They're always sulking if she's gone too long. They like to tease her. Fans will call her handsome and uncle, but she wants them to call her beautiful, a beautiful sister. She doesn't like it, and it gives her a headache, but they persist essentially. And the interviewer suggests that what they see as is like her inner self, her inner husband, if you will. And to me, from the outside, coming from a West point of view, Faye has dom energy. She's dominant. She's masculine. She has that kind of energy, and so people see that, and then they immediately give her like masculine titles and traits, even though she's hella feminine. She is feminine. If you had to give her a title, she would be a dom femme, but she's not like hella masculine in any sense, really. She just has dom energy. She's a top. Top Faye is back. How did Faye get into the hair salon? She says she's a beautiful woman who loves beauty and fashion. She's like kind of like playing with hair, like laughing and joking. She likes giving people confidence. It's an art form. She studied in Bangkok and also studied in England. Her first haircut was to her mom's hair. It was a butterfly style. Her mom said she cut off too much hair, but when people say cut off hair, it's subjective. Someone's 1 inch is another person's 1 inch of hair, Now she just likes cutting hair for the fans. It's nice. She says she likes cutting her fans' hair, but they can be a little shy, and they'll like kind of be like scared when she cuts their hair and gets all like timid and stuff. And I thought that was funny. They asked her, do you think about retiring? She said, no, she enjoys herself now, but in the future, maybe she'd like retire to the countryside because it's peace and quiet. They said, what would you say to your younger self? She says, to her younger self, you're great. Thank yourself for what you're doing. Stay strong, and thank you for not giving up. And then they asked her, is there something you never told fans? She says, not to be perfect. Some days she's not so lovely. Please forgive her. Still love her on those days. There's not a single day that Faye hasn't loved her fans. Basically that, but that wasn't new. She's told her fans this many, many times. This is not new information. She says the same things kind of over and over again, which you should have the same talking points. And then she ends by thanking the fans, and she's excited for the new projects. So that was the interview with Thairath Variety on their YouTube channel. It's things you've already heard from other interviews. It's just kind of more succinct information, but it was long. It was like 45 minutes, an hour interview. So, but yeah, pretty cool. If you like this kind of content, please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.
Mod systemet vi bokser. De andre hopper som lopper, imens jeg også er en hosser.